I was trying to find the exact depth of the event that we'll be discussing, but for obvious reasons, that's a little detail that fucking nobody gives a shit about. But the reason that matters is because of the special type of diving that has to be done when going to depths around 1,000 feet underwater. We're talking about saturation diving here. So what the fuck is a saturation dive? Well, let's start with the why first. Like, why would we do a saturation dive? When scuba divers jump into the water, they're dealing with an immense amount of pressure. And I don't just mean from, like, the fact that they're in the ocean and, like, that's kind of spooky.
And, like, the pressure their dad and, like, their parents put on
and, like,
them to,
am I
like,
disappointing them?
a really good scuba diver. And,
right.
like, if you don't do a good job, you can't come home and have a meal.
Literally.
Yeah.
They'll keep you from having food.
Yeah.
This is, like, actual physical pressure that can be more intense than any atmospheric pressure that we will experience. Going to even 300 feet below the surface will have you dealing with pressure 10 times that of what we experience at sea level. When you scuba dive with compressed air, you take in oxygen and nitrogen, and your body uses the oxygen, but the nitrogen is dissolved into your blood, where it remains during your dive. As you swim back towards the surface after a deep dive, the water pressure around you decreases. If this transition occurs too quickly, the nitrogen doesn't have time to clear from your blood, and instead, it forms bubbles in your tissue and your blood. This causes decompression sickness.
That gives me the Heebie Jeebies.
Yes.
Bubbles inside my blood? No,
dude.
thank you.
You'll have some more too later, don't worry.